Hi, I'm Juliet Doherty. I'm here today with Tyler Peck, principal dancer with New York City Ballet. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Little Dancer, the show that we've been performing at the Kennedy Center here in Washington, D.C. Tyler, you play the starring role, Marie Van Gertem, and you are Degas' inspiration for the sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into that, I just want to ask you, where are you from and where did you grow up?
So I'm originally from Bakersfield, California, and my family still lives there. My mom owns a dance studio there, and that's basically where I grew up. You know, I was babysat in her studio, and so I just started dancing at the age of like 2. And my first time I went to New York was age 11 to do the Music Man on Broadway. So that was my first trip to New York City, but yeah, I'm from Bakersfield, California.
Awesome. You've worked with Susan Stroman before. You did The Music Man.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the only musical that you've done prior to Little Dancer, or what other experience have you had in that area?
So growing up in California, I did a lot of like commercials and TV and film. That's kind of the thing to do there, you know?
Right.
So I did a lot of acting, and I always sang just because, you know, you kind of have to do all three. Music Man was the first, well, Radio City Rockette, like you. I played Clara for, I think, 2 years. Yeah, I think 2 years. I did the one in California, Universal Studios, and we had to act, sing, and dance.
Yeah,
on
do it
point.
all.
Yeah. So that, I guess, was like the first thing I did. And then The Music Man was the first Broadway show I was ever in. And that was with, yes, Susan Stroman directed it, and Rebecca Luker, who plays the older Marie, was the star of that show.
Oh, that's so
it's
amazing.
Fun. Yeah.
Let's see. How did you find out about Little Dancer? And were you approached for the role, or did you have to audition for it, I guess?
Yeah, I had to audition, meaning Susan Stroman had been working at the New York City Ballet with us, and I was in the ballet she was choreographing there. And she had been talking about this new project that she had been developing, and I was like, oh, like, who's in it? I had no idea about it, but it sounded so interesting, and she just kind of smiled and said, like, oh, we haven't started looking yet. And I was like, oh, I didn't think anything about it. And then a few months later, she, like, I can't remember if it was a phone call or an email or something, and she said, hey, how would you feel about coming in and reading and singing for the creatives for the lead of that show we were talking about? And I was like, you know, I haven't sang probably since I was like in The Music Man, just because, you know, getting into New York City Ballet, there wasn't any time. That was all I could really focus on, and I was so happy in the company. There wasn't anything that I really wanted to do besides that. So the opportunity kind of came, and she said, would you come in? And I thought, well, I don't really have anything to lose, you know, just go in for the experience.
Right.
And I think later that day, I got a call, and they said, will you play Marie? And I was like, okay, well, I have to kind of figure out if I can, and if Peter from New York City, Peter Martins, the director of New York City Ballet, if that's something he would let me do, because I still don't want to leave the company. It's just, so it ended up working out, and I was able to do both.
Yeah. Well, I just want to ask you, how did you train for the show, and was it challenging or different than what you're used to at City Ballet?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we don't use our voice at all in ballet. So the dancing is obviously something that I'm used to, but, you know, to be speaking on stage and singing is definitely something that I don't do every day.
Yeah.
So to get ready for the show, I worked with, you know, acting teachers and singing teachers just to help strengthen my voice and to help project, you know, because talking to you is a lot different than being on stage and talking to an audience full of people. So, you know, it's just a different a way of breathing from dancers. We're used to holding everything in, you know, and to sing and stuff, you have to, like, completely let everything go.
And then when we're dancing on point and singing at the same time, it's a little bit confusing because you don't know quite what to do.
Yeah. So I think the more we've done it, the more it's getting, it
it's
feels
definitely
normal.
getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah.
Can you describe a bit about Susan Stroman's choreography for the fans who aren't able to see the show?
Yeah. I've always thought Stro was just so creative about putting together a show. She just has this, I don't know, this sense of how to make everything so cohesive, and I feel like with the dancing, she really ties it into the story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it doesn't seem like it comes out of nowhere. It really is about aiding the storyline and creating this arc for Marie and the other dancers. And I feel like she did a great job of showing, you know, the technical aspects of just like playing class, you know, when we're in Degas or in just the studios. Mm-hmm. And then the in ballet is really fun because I get to kind of, it shows the options that Marie had after, because, you know, there's not much known about Marie's character in real life. Once she got dismissed from the Paris Opera Ballet, nobody really knows what happened to her. So they brought that into the show, and the way they showed that was just through dance, which I think is really cool to be able to show just through movement at the end her options of running off with her boyfriend or going into, you know, becoming a prostitute like her older sister, or trying to get back into the ballet and not being allowed to, becoming a laundress like her mother. Mm-hmm. And I think that the way that Stro did that was so clever.
Right.
Yeah.
And it tells the story so well, but also it moves so effortlessly.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing, and very inclusive, like you said. It ties everything together, and I think it really helps the audience understand her struggle and these different options that she has. How does her style of choreography compare to what you're used to typically doing at City Ballet?
Well, I think, you know, New York City Ballet is known for getting to do so many other kinds of styles that it's not like so out of the ordinary. It's not like I'm just doing classical ballet at New York City Ballet, like just the full lengths, and then trying to come and do this. But because we get to work with so many new choreographers, it kind of felt very natural for me to just come in and do this. And because I've worked with her so many times, I felt like I was really able to understand her quickly and just have a fun time with it.
And she's someone that is so wonderful to work with, just like totally includes your suggestions, and you know, like not all choreographers I think are like that, where they're open to your input as well.
It's true. She's definitely about the collaboration. You know, she comes in with a guide, I think, because she's very prepared. And, you know, she gives you the choreography, and then she's like, okay, now let's see what we like and what we don't like. Right. And if you have a better suggestion, or, you know, you're better this way, you know, you're a righty instead of a lefty, you know, she just kind of tailor makes it for you. And I think that's so great about a choreographer not having something so set, because then you can really feel like the dancers have a part in making the show.
Mm-hmm. What goals do you have for your ballet career in the future?
I love New York City Ballet. I want to continue dancing there for all of my ballet career. There's obviously so many ballets there that I haven't done yet that I would love to do.
What's one role in specific?
I've never done Swan Lake. I've done a lot of the other full lengths that we do, but that's one I've never done, and I would love to do that. And you know, then just like our normal rep, there's a lot of ballets that I would love to do. And you know, beyond that, like, I love Broadway, and I would love to be able to do that, but I thought ballet was something that you can't always do because, you know, it's such a short career. Right. So that's something that I really wanted to focus on while my body could take it, you know, and then the other things I could hopefully do after that.
Is there another project that you're working on after you go back to City Ballet? Will you jump right back into Nutcracker, or is there something exciting coming up?
No, the next thing I do is I perform in the Nutcracker on December 4th. We finish here December 1st, and
You're kidding.
Yeah.
You're gonna fly right back.
And do Nutcracker. Yeah, I'm cast for Dewdrop.
Okay.
So I will do that, and I go straight back into New York City Ballet rep, and We do Nutcracker through January, and then we start, we're already rehearsing for our upcoming
season.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing a new La Sylphide, and I'm learning the principal Sylph, so
Wow.
that will be interesting.
Congrats. It's going to be beautiful.
We will see.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you, Tyler, for your time.
You're welcome.
I know it's been a pleasure sharing the stage with you, and we get to do it again
same
tonight.
Way. Yeah.
Well, this has been Tyler Peck and Juliet Doherty for Discount Dance. Thank you for watching.
Bye.